Well, last night it got to be 17 below. It was cold. I put stuff to cover the windows to make it a little warmer in here. Randy put a blanket on the window over there, and I didn't like to do that because one of my friends used to live like that. And I'm a little sore at her. There's a lot that happened. They're about ready to get in trouble, but we'll see how it goes. It's supposed to be 12 below tonight, so it's not going to be as cold. The coldest it's been for me here with the cats and the kid. Randy calls them his kids. The cats and Randy, it's been 21 below. And we're going to do some more work on the trailer, put towels on the floor and everything else, and keeps it warm. Problem is, summertime makes it really hot, so you have to pull everything off. So I've got it situated to where if I wrap blankets around the windows and stuff like that, like I have on the top, you could pull them around. Now, boys don't get along. The girls get along 90% of the time. Mars and Peaches are both on the bed. I've been petting them, trying to get them comfortable. Sometimes they get along really good, sometimes they don't. Well, the last time they had an argument, they went outside and scrapped them both and got beat up pretty well. The neighbor's cat comes over, and I fed it a couple times. The neighbor told me not to feed it. Well, it goes home, but it's 13 below and it doesn't have a place to go. It just hangs out. There's a heat lamp around the corner by the wheels over here that we use to keep the water warm. Randy put it in there, and then there's a break in the boards that they can get under the trailer. So he's kind of been hanging out here, and he goes over there. But I don't know. The other cats they had, the black and white cat that I saw playing in their yard, their daughter took him home, or somebody took him home, and I saw both of them decapitated. One on one side of the street, one a little further away. I wonder if somebody didn't do that on purpose. I think that's wrong to do to an animal, but then again, not everybody thinks like I do. I don't know. This just didn't seem right to me. It looked like it didn't look like a car ran over it. Maybe an animal got a hold of it. Mountain lions don't do that. I don't know what happened to it. It didn't look like a sword, but it just looked like it was. I don't know. Yes. Get that horrible image out of my mind. Well, anyway, I'm going to do some more singing and stuff for a while. Um, I figure that bank that I was working with is going to help me. I figured they were telling the truth. I wrote a letter saying I lost my account, blah 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 blah. So I canceled it, and then I didn't write another one, but I'm going to call them tomorrow. The IRA account, I'm going to pull it today. I want 5,000 off of each one. I'm going to put it in my checking account, and then I'm going to go ahead and go from there. I'm going to stay on my YouTube, and I'm going to invest on the stock market. I'm going to invest in E-Trade, Robinhood, and Ameritrade. Ameritrade is going to give me my account back. They really don't have a choice. I won the Wells Fargo lawsuit. They dropped all that and gave me $13 in the account. So they sent out paper. I haven't seen it yet. I don't really want to open the account because, or get into the account because I had a problem with it. But it wasn't them that was the problem. It was came from my end. You know the rest of the story. So I'm gonna run different products. I want Bitcoin. I want ClickBank, and I want Walmart. But I don't know. Amazon keeps on asking me if I want a job. They want to hire me. They don't want to have me as an employee buying stuff. They want me to do something. So I'm going to ask them, because this is like the third time I got that email. I asked them, I told my neighbor about it. No, I told my fuzzy friend at the courthouse about it. He said, you know what they wanted to hire you for? I said, I don't know. I don't want to run somebody else's business. I don't want to do anything with the government. Um, I'm not going to write Biden. I'm not going to talk to Biden. I'm not going to do anything if they ask me to. I have free run on that. I'm retired. I'm 61 going on 16 and having a kid soon. I'm going to concentrate on Randy and the baby and my YouTube channel. At 45, it's one of these. Let me show you what it is. It's going to become a monster drinker after I drink this. It's going to become one of these. That's what's going in. This is what's in it now. I save the bottles and I fill them up with water. I use them to brush my teeth with because I don't have water, running water out of the sink, so I still have to pull that hose around, which is fine. It's probably better that way. That way I don't have to move the plant, do anything else. But it's an easy way of life in here. It's going to get cold. It's going to get cold in the house and everything else, which you're going to have generators, backup generators. I was talking about getting another battery for that one to run this heater with off the grid and that oven off the grid. Randy's talking about getting a solar panel and just putting it on top of the truck. You might have to move it when we move, but I think at $300 a month in rent, when I pull my inheritance and get control of everything, I could afford to use it as storage for $300 a month. And a lot of the dreams with the kid are in here and also out of the house. So I had a dream my nephew showed up to the house one day and Randy was taking the kids to the park. And he asked me why I didn't come around anymore. I told him, you guys quit talking to me. Nobody called me. Couldn't get you on Facebook or anything else. The only one I could get was Rob and Martin Chase. And I told him the story about what really happened and if he noticed. And I think he moved. So why? I think he moved someplace else. It didn't make sense. Sometimes dreams like that, and when you dream out as far along that I do, it's just kind of like, is it going to come true, or is it something else, or is it somebody else? But you can tell when they're yours. So this is kind of strange post. But anyway, I'm going to stick with my YouTube channel. I'm going to try to become a partner with them. I'm going to play, not on E-Trade so much, but I'm going to get on Robinhood and play on that one because I haven't played on that one yet. And I'm going to run it through, and I'm going to split the money I make and put it on the other ones. Because I think all these little businesses and stuff, you should be able to make quite a bit of money. And I told them I wanted to see how fast I could make $1 million. And I told Ameritrade my bank account got drained over there on there. But there was only 50,000 in it. I thought there was 700,000. But anyway, to make a long story short, last I called him, I told him to go ahead and see what you want to do. I know it's not your fault. I'm not going to take it to court. I will file the IC3P paperwork on it, and I'll probably get the whole 15,000 back. But I'd rather have an account in working order the way I had it, without the marginal error, and let me do what I want. Because that's why I was putting the money into it. So I wanted to be a broker at $25,000 into accounts, because I could put all three of them at 25,000 easy and not really worry about it. And then I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you guys. I already know how it's going to work. I don't really need the money because I have my accounts now. I just don't have my statements and everything else, and I'm going to pull that probably in the next couple of days. If I don't, I'll get it next year. It doesn't really matter. It will happen. I have paperwork, and I'm not going down to California. I don't like California. You got some crazy laws in that place. I should be able to do it over the phone. Now, I tried to get into the account with their password thing. It didn't work. Okay, I did the password wrong. Might have to do it on my phone. I might have to do it on another computer. I might have to do it down in the library. But I bet you when I get the password right, it opens it up. So I blamed it on them and wrote it off, and now I'm blaming it on me. And it's something that's easy to do. If not, I could call my California lawyer or attorney or whoever, whatever he is. I think he's a judge. I don't know. And it could have been Corey's ex-wife. I don't know. I have to find out about those two too. I got a webpage. She never wrote me back. Why? I don't understand. I don't know. Those rumors these people put on you are vicious. They do the crimes. They set it up. They make it look like you did it. They have people in the area. The team that I had was 6, 7 people at a time. Granville was in one of them. One day he was up there with a 14-year-old kid. Well, he was 16, so they're still illegal at age. And I thought they were a couple. I'm sure they were. I seen both of them there. I seen them in Missouri. I seen them follow me everywhere. Now the one guy who name's long forgotten. He got the Charger car marked like the Chargers, so he bought a bunch of those. And he was over there at the bank when I was in it. I walked up to the registry and looked at his name, and I got him on Facebook and I started talking to him. 6 months later, the guy was a mess. I said, you don't need to do this. We can be friends. I still liked him. He was a decent person. And I don't know what happened to him, but I don't think he lasted long. I think the government killed him. I think he was labeled that Antifa. Now the government's going after ISIS. And, you know, they went after Antifa first. So I don't think murder's right. I don't like to put myself in a situation where I have to make a decision. Sometimes you just have to. Like my Homeland Security friend. It's another thing I was thinking about joining was Homeland Security, but I didn't want to go to Texas. What I could do is I could do the paperwork from here and make, $100 a job or, whatever they want to pay me on that. I could probably go to work for all these organizations. I know how to do everything and, I know what I've been through, but the funny thing of it is when I was a kid, I grew up in Russian fallout shelter. And I was talking to my friends, and I tell my friends what happened. My mom said I was lying. So she calls me a liar all the way up, and now my other friends that I grew up with, um, when I was in San Diego and I ended up pregnant, it was like, congratulations, I had a miscarriage. Well, yeah, go figure with a body like mine and everything else. And then I realized that I was being raped, and I don't know what they were doing to me. I mean, once they gas you, they pretty much do anything you want. I caught Granville in my motel room one day. He did that to me. Walked in there and I told him, I said, you need to get out, either that or I'm going to mess you up because I have every right to be here. He said, no, you don't. This is my room, it's not yours. Went downstairs after that, told him the guy broke in, and he said that he was with you. So I told him I wanted another room. They gave me no. They gave me another key, is what they did. They switched the card on it and locked him out. I caught him in Walmart down there and a couple other places about 20 years ago when I was working for that other company. But it was just one of those things that this happened and everything else. And the guy followed me 14, 15 years before they finally found out he was trafficking and using the underground tunnel and all that other stuff. So he got executed for that. It was 284 people. Sad to see him go, but I try to be friends with these people and everything else, and sometimes you can. There was a car that's been following me up to. Sometimes they follow me to Hayden. They'll follow me all the way down to Dinosaur. I'm not going to mention license plates or anything, but they followed me all the way to Steamboat sometimes. And one time they followed me out to Kremlin. But anyway, back over in California, I pulled the truck over probably the place where I shouldn't have. It wasn't bad. It wasn't out of, like I did anything wrong, but it was kind of questionable that if cops showed up, they might have given me a ticket. And I walked across the street, across the guardrail, and asked them if they needed anything. Asked them if they were okay. They said, yeah. I said, I'll make a phone call anyway. They said, we're fine. They were beat up a little bit, and they said, thank you very much for everything. So they obviously got my phone number and everything, and now they're over here, so they're part of that socialistic government follow you around everywhere. So I made friends with these guys. I talked to them. I don't hang out with them, but I don't hang out with anybody since I've been here. I talk to a lot of people, make a lot of jokes and everything else, and have a lot of people on my Facebook page. But as far as coming over and hanging out, very few people. I've been taking Kenny to the junkyard to get parts and stuff like that and everything, and he's doing okay. But it's just sad to see these people that don't have anything when it's so easy to make money out there. It takes a little bit of time to do this stuff. I did the Amazon stuff. I messed up. If I wouldn't have bought the heater off the patent, and just bought the one of the other ones that I didn't like, I probably would have made money selling. Now, even Kevin David, when I was listening to his program, said, I sell stuff that I do not like. You don't have to like the product. You don't have to love the product. All you're trying to do is make money off of it. Forgot about that. But anyway, I got my programs back and everything else. Amazon's been bugging me for a job. Uber's been after me, and I don't want to do that because of my situation. And I need to stay at home and do something. So I'm really enjoying the singing. Simon sings these songs. I get the lyrics on there, and I sing them. And I don't know if they're going to use me, or if any of them are, or if any of them still want me anymore. I think JD said something about she wanted to do a cut at the beginning, but she doesn't anymore. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. The other one still wants to, but she's overseas, and I'm not going anywhere. So I'm not going to do that probably, but if they want me to sing stuff and cut it in there as long as I can, I won't even charge them. I think that would be fun. Trying to make a long story short, that's what's going on. Today I'm cooking dinner in microwave a little early. You know, like I said, it was 17 below last night. It's 10 degrees outside this morning, and it was 20 in here, right on the thermometer on the wall. So I put the one in the bathroom. It was 36, and I put the one by the window. It was 42. Randy says at 50 degrees you get hypothermia. You can. So this is one of those stories that I'm just writing or talking because I'm not going to see anything. I'm going to try to open up my IRA account, put some money in my account so I have some more. I should get a tax return here in a little while. And the 2018 taxes, somebody wrote phony tax on my name for $609.18. I think they needed to pay rent. I paid it off 3 times that year. I wrote the IRS letter after letter. They sent me letter after letter, phone call after phone call after phone call. And they finally took it away because I had everything paid off with no balance, but I didn't get my tax refund. 2018, I haven't gotten my tax refund. 2019 or 2020. 2017, I pulled it this year. So I'm going to work on the rest of them. I had all my transcripts for the last 15 years. Terry thought it was a good idea that we get those. They all disappeared. So somebody's been into my accounts, screwed me up on my IRS stuff and everything else, and they hit me every bank account I ever had and every credit card I've ever had. They hit all of them. Sometimes they hit me at the same time, and other times they wouldn't. Now I've won Wells Fargo case. Uh, the Chase case I haven't put out yet. They wanted to change everything they could. Now when Wells Fargo changed what they did, I think that fixed everything else. I have a Capital One card that I'm going to go ahead and write the IC3 paperwork on it today. It takes 5 minutes to do. Once you know how to do it, once you register and everything else, you've done a few of them. It's real easy. They made it easier because now they don't want the information on the web page. They wanted your access number, whatever that is. I forgot what it's called, protocol number or something like that. It took me a few hours to get it the first time. Once I got it, it was easy. So I'm going to be doing some more singing right now. I don't feel like it. I'm tired. I'm worn out because it was cold. The cats were being obnoxious because they all wanted out. And I couldn't let them out because it was too cold and everything else. So I did get some sleep, but this kid's kicking my ass. I'm going to have to go back to the hospital here. I'll probably call him and ask him what I want to do because there's no doctors in town. The only doctor is in Steamboat. And it's 17 below zero. It's a good time to drive out there. So my paperwork on my car went through. Only I can't get the paperwork on it because the settlement that went through also went through. Somebody had shut off my phone and they turned it back on just to steal that. So when I get to these companies that I'm doing business with and everything else that I filled out, and I find out what happened, I'm going to know the amount, I'm going to know where it's at, and I'm going to tell them what had happened. Verizon, I went over there and she would help me. She said I can't get into that stuff. The other guy wasn't there. I don't know if he works there anymore. She says he does. So I haven't seen him. So I'm going to go in like a week or two and ask him and say what was up with that. She tried to do that same thing to me a while back. She tried to blow me off. So I don't know what's going on over there. The account is in Randy's name. He's paying for it, so it's one of those things when I didn't have any money and everything else, he paid for my cell phone because we figured out I needed one. I could have used his stuff online, but as far as going someplace, so now he's just paying it because he wants to. I mean, I can, I have the money to do it, but I figured I'd leave things the same. And I pay for the hotel room and everything else, and I'll pay for my gas in my car and run the businesses and buy the next house. So we'll see what happens. Kind of want to see how these solar panels are going to be. He said you can get them for dirt cheap. And then I can run all my electronics and the power at the same time and not freeze at night. Oh, it was cold. I was plenty cold last night. I'm wearing my. I bought a pair of pink Larry tires. I'm wearing those and two pair of sweatpants on top of it. I've got three light sweaters on here, a t-shirt, and two sweaters. So I'm staying kind of warm, but like I said, I'm just kind of frustrated with the whole events of the day and everything. Look at that, both cats fell asleep. That is so cool. Well, I can wiggle up next to them in there. One of them will move, or both of them will move. But anyway, well, enough of this, and everybody, hope you have a good year, and I'll be posting all that stuff on my Facebook page, so get on there, see all my funny stories and everything else, and be talking about the government and all that other stuff. Be married to Diana and running the pictures through and everything. That was kind of that was the hardest thing I've ever done was getting over that. Now I posted everything, so you can read all that. But yeah, that was a trip. And being on the deep space program after race, Christian being told that there's nothing out there but us, and then so I sat in a limo, and then we were in the back, and he told the driver where to go. I looked at him, I said, "So you've been lying to me." So I rode my motorcycle in the Poway base. There was a bench out there, and it was cold, so I said a prayer and lay down on the bench, get down on my hands and knees, lay down on the bench. I could see these shadows coming in there, and I didn't think anybody was there. And I rode at the front gate because the sun had it rises in the west and sets in the east. The east gate was at the east side. If I would have rode out the back way, I would have been okay. Dad comes home and goes, "I'm not going to arrest you." And I'm all, "Who the hell is this guy?" We get in the limo. I'm all, "Who the hell is this guy?" It's kind of like the same thing with my mom telling me not to tell the truth and everything else. I didn't have anything I could talk about. Everybody knew I could fight pretty good and stuff like that. And Larry and I used to get in fights, and I hit him in the back. He goes, "We get in a fight. Don't hit me in the back anymore. That really hurt." He said, "Sorry." He died a little while ago, and some other friends of mine died that I grew up with high school. One of the guys on there that I see all the time was talking about being at Aunt Bonnie's house. So I got on his Facebook page. I said, "Happy birthday, cuz." I said it belated. I realized how the mind works. But now you see, you're making a movie. This place is recording everything that we do, everything that happens, and punishing us and adjusting along the way. It'll either give you everything you want, or it will do just the opposite. Now, I've seen some really terrible things. Granville got put on a planet all by himself. I went out, brought him back, and put him someplace else, and they did. And once he got down on his hands and knees. That's why we were back there. That was part of the deep space program. The Philadelphia experiment worked. Um, we have stuff out there that I don't know about anymore, but there's a lot of things that these people are not telling you. And I can talk about a lot of it, but I don't talk about all of it. So it's just one of those things that it's a lot of it I forgot because I had my memory erased. I was laying upside down in my grandma's house, flew up all over stairs. Jim McMahon married grandma. And he called Dad and he said, well, they sent me home. He said, well, why did you come back? Well, he knew why I came back. He was just kind of happy to see me. I said, well, you know, he said, where did you like it better? I said, I like it here better. He said, why? Mom beats me up and everything else. He said, why could I possibly like it better than over there? Jim and I were close. He was, training me and everything else. And, I was pretty good. I was pretty much trained already, but, we had a lot of fun. And I said, well, at least my cousins weren't hit. That was funny. Well, I was born a unisex and everything was there. So it's still the same way. So I married my husband, ended up in this trailer, and that's the story. But like I said, I'm gonna post this today and everything else. And I'm probably not gonna sing for. I might sing tonight, or I might not. But I want to get all my banking, finances, and everything else straight. I don't know what to do. I know it's going to affect a lot of innocent people if I pull everything. So I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is and just take what I want out of it, call it good. I almost threw out the paperwork yesterday. I was telling Randy I've been so frustrated with this stuff. I really don't want to deal with it. That thing is, a lot of people died. I mean, it's money like that, a family like that. It's just anything at all is possible. It's just been a damn proverbial mess. Well, anyway, guys, I'm gonna go call it a day. I think I'm gonna go back to bed. I don't know if I'm gonna get on do some stuff. I know I'm gonna post this, and that's all I'm gonna do. I'm cold, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm frustrated, and I don't really want to sit here on the computer in a cold chair. But I don't want to sleep either. And I can't go to Randy's work because it's going to be really cold everywhere, and I don't have a lot of money right now. I don't have the gas, and I don't really think I can make the effort. There's been a couple of times, days I felt like this. I've driven out there and turned around and gone back. I did start the car though. I was wondering if it's going to make any difference trying to start it at 19 degrees below zero. And I thought, it really wouldn't. But wouldn't it be cool to take a picture of this speedometer out there and have the temperature 19, 20 below? It doesn't happen every day. Oh, welcome to northern Colorado. You guys have a good day, and well, God bless. I guess it's a little confusing stuff for me. I think we're doing everything, but I don't know. I know the aliens are trying to keep this place around. I think if they wouldn't have been here, mankind would have destroyed this place a long time ago. And we wouldn't have life as we know it. We'd still have life because you're just energy matter. It's all you are. But you do go different places, and you can talk to psychics and everything else, and everybody has their own little truth to it. But what's going right now is just way out of balance, and that's why everything's off. Expect to see one of those miracles, and this is Sarah Lee signing off.